We're live right now on social media where you can watch along. We're on DAB digital radio across Pembrokeshire, on the PWR app and on your smart speakers. And it is so good to have your company this Monday evening. And coming up between now and 8, well, this is the place for the build-up to the Pembrokeshire Senior Cup Final. You won't get better build-up anywhere else on the radio, let me tell you that. We are going to hear from both camps in this hour of the show. In a few moments, we've got the Monkton manager, Stuart Twinno James, joining us to give us his thoughts. And then we'll go to Goodwick United and speak to stalwart Brian Morris to get their side of the coin ahead of the big cup final. That is to come in just a few moments. Give us your thoughts and predictions as well ahead of the 2025-2026 Senior Cup final. We're going to talk local rugby as well. Are Narberth going to run out of fixtures as they look to stay up in the Premiership? And it was relegation for Whitland, and the game between Haverfordwest and Milford was abandoned. We'll look at that as well. In football for Haverfordwest County, they have got a playoff quarter-final ahead at the weekend as they look to make it into Europe for a second consecutive season. So we'll give them a mention as well. Loads more on the way, so let's get into it. Gordon Thomas is in Haverfordwest. Evening, Gordon. How are you?
Evening, Ben. I'm very good, thank you. We won't talk about the Premiership. We'll talk about local football this week, mate.
Yeah, let's just talk about local football. And then from 8 o'clock tonight, I'm going to become a massive Crystal Palace fan and hope they beat West Ham. So, yeah, let's hope the Eagles soar this evening. That's all I'm saying. Fraser, evening to you. How are you?
Not too bad, Ben. Out and about this weekend. The Women's Six Nations was covering Wales losing to France on Saturday. I was up in Aberdare Sunday with my boy. He had some academy football, and I spent my spare time with him watching his favourite WrestleMania pay-per-view. So I covered quite a few bases.
More importantly, Fraser, you helped Pembrokeshire Sport out by covering the Second Division Cup final.
I was there on Friday,
evening, mate.
I was going to finish and peak on that, Gord, but you beat me to it, of course. Yeah,
that was
grassroots football on Friday. Haken seconds beating Johnston. That's right.
Excellent on Friday. And we had some great reaction in the first hour of the show to that as well. What sounded like a really good Friday night. Just before we bring in the Monkton manager, let's just set the scene a little bit for this Senior Cup final on Saturday at the Oggy Bridge Meadow. First up, Gordon, just generally, the Pembrokeshire Senior Cup final, it's always an exciting occasion, isn't it? It's the one we look forward to.
Yeah, it's the biggest event of the season. Everybody looks forward to going down the Bridge Meadow to watch the Senior Cup final, and it's going to be a cracker this time around. We got Monkton, who finished second in the league table, and Goodwick, who are third. They're playing each other. They lock horns down on the meadow. It's going to be a very interesting game. Really looking forward to it, Ben. And I'm sure the sun will shine and there'll be a big crowd down there. That's what normally happens on a Senior Cup final day.
What is it, Fraser, about the Pembrokeshire Senior Cup final then that makes it so special? And actually, it stood the test of time, this fixture, hasn't it?
100%. I go as far to say it's the biggest day in the Pembrokeshire sporting calendar, certainly the local one. If you exclude things like Ironman and you're talking about international competitions, in terms of grassroots sport in Pembrokeshire, it's the biggest day out. You know, I think it even dwarfs the Harrison Allen Bowl in terms of attendance and interest. And the same, of course, the Pembrokeshire KO Cup final. That's long died, you know, since Gordon can probably talk about days when that was more enhanced, but certainly not now. There's so much tradition attached to it and prestige as well. It's that day out at the meadow, which people enjoy. You see people who, you know, you might not see for 364 days a year, but you guarantee you'll see them at the Senior Cup final. It'll be the same this Saturday, I'm sure. It's a fantastic day, and you know, I think it'll be another big occasion this Saturday. 2 big fan bases coming, as well as so many neutrals as well.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting day, no doubt about it. The final this year then between Monkton and Goodwick. Listen, chaps, I'm not going to get you to do predictions until we've spoken to both teams. I think I won't get you to do it in front of the team.
I can't predict, Ben. I predicted Tish to win it, so there's no way I can make a prediction.
Yeah, so maybe we'll save that for
the equation.
For part 3. If anyone watching wants to give us some thoughts, please do. Let's welcome the Monkton manager onto the show right now. Twinno, how are you?
Good. Ben, how's things? Good?
Yeah, very good, thank you. You just said what Gordon and Fraser have said about the Pembrokeshire Senior Cup final. What does it mean to you and the club to be there on Saturday?
Oh, it's massive. I mean, I think everyone will agree that we're growing as a team and as a club. go and trying to get back to the glory days, I suppose. But I mean, it's my second Senior Cup final in 3 years as a manager. Yet to win it as a manager, won it as a player, and I'd love nothing more for us to pick that trophy up on Saturday afternoon for Monkton.
I know Fraser and Gordon have got plenty to ask you, but just one final one for me for now. What does the week look like for you in terms of preparing and then getting to the game on Saturday?
I've actually just come off holiday last night, actually.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I went to Mallorca for a few days for my son's
Lovely.
18th. So been in constant contact with Corey, who's co-manager with myself. It's business as normal, really. The boys will get out and do their runs. They'll be expected to do their 5Ks. We'll train Wednesday night, and we won't change anything really. We know what this is. We know what this cup game is, but we also know how good we are as well. So we don't what's that old saying? Play the game, not the occasion. So we'll do things as normal.
Gordon.
Yeah, it's interesting you saying that it was your 18th, your son's 18th birthday party. Well, we were talking off air earlier, Stuart. You were actually playing for Penna Robins against Monkton Swifts, your arch rivals. And you were telling me that your son was born that week, and you went on to beat Monkton on the Saturday 2-0.
I can't believe you're bringing this up.
Do the boys realise your history?
Yeah, well, a few of the boys are still playing. Listen, everybody knows my history with Penna. 2008. My son was born on the Monday, and we had a brilliant game of football on the Saturday. And Aaron was there; he was there with us. So good times, but those times have gone now, and I'm 100% Monkton Swifts now. I went up Ferry Lane, went up the Ferry Lane Road into Monkton Lane 9 seasons ago, and loved every second of it. I mean, joined as a player, played in goal for Joe Lewis, who was the manager at the time.
Good guy.
Convinced me, my best mate convinced me, come on. So I took the trip up, and I'm delighted, and I've loved it ever since.
Joe,
really have.
Monkton got a great history as well. When Benno Jones was in charge, you can remember that team as well. They were winning league titles. I think they won 4 on the bounce at that particular time. And you're hoping to bring the glory years back to Monkton, and there are signs of it coming because you've played some really good football this season.
I mean, I was part of those early days with Benno. I played all my youth football with Monkton, actually. I was in goal by default for him when I was 16. Their goalkeeper at the time had a bad injury. I stepped in as reserve division then, reserve division 1. So I stepped in as first division for Benno for about 10, 12 games. And that's the league, the year they won the league, actually. And I had a taste of the first division then, and I never looked back. So I remember those glory days, and we're definitely trying to bring them back. When you look at our Monkton side now, when you look deep into it, there's so many youth players that came through the 12s, 13s, 14s, 15s, and 16s, and I've only ever played for Monkton. I mean, we've got about 8 players that have been Monkton through and through. So we've got such a good bond, and it means like it's hard to describe what Monkton Swifts means to these players, and it's brilliant to see.
Fraser,
in terms of, you talked a lot there about this current set of players. It was great to hear, Steve. But in terms of the history of the club, do you feel a responsibility to that on Saturday? And what I mean by that is, we just referenced there, Monkton last won the Senior Cup 2007. Of course, they're in the final the following year when you were with Penna. Penna beat them. In the 19 years since they've lifted the trophy, it's only actually been one major trophy that the first team have won. That was the league title in 2019. There's been, since that Penna game we talked about, there's been 2 Senior Cup finals. You weren't there for the first one, Hakin 5-0 defeat, the Justin Harding day. And then obviously you were in the dugout a couple of years ago, 5-0 to Goodwick.
5-1.
2 occasions which
get the one in, Fraser. Get the one goal.
Yeah, but those 5-1, sorry. But 2 occasions where I think it's fair to say that you didn't turn up and compete in terms of a final. And you've been close other times as well. Don't get me wrong. There was the semi-final, of course, in 2020. Floodlights failed one week. COVID came the next, I know.
I was in goal that day, yeah.
That's right. And of course, there's been a West Wales Cup semi-final as well. You came close in that. But in terms of the trophy haul in the last two decades, or 19 years to be specific, that one league title for me, for a club of Monkton's size and stature, seems a bit of an underachievement. Is it important to you to readdress that balance this Saturday?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been in a bit of a transition over the few years. We had a really strong second team. The first team were strong. Then we kind of dwelled away a little bit. We've brought the younger players through now, and bringing these. I said at the start of the show about Corey getting involved. So, got Corey involved a couple of years ago, and he is Monkton Swifts as well. So, the big part of that is the one conversation we had on the management meeting was we need to start bringing league titles back to Monkton. Yeah. And it does mean a lot. I mean, I'd love nothing more to go next year and go. I mean, we finished third, we finished second. Well, it comes in threes, they say, doesn't it? You know, so.
I mean, the difference this year as well, 3 years ago, of course, Goodwick United were overwhelming favourites and going for a double. Now, this year, of course, Haken have taken a title. But in terms, if you're looking at the league table in black and white, arguably Monkton are slight favourites. You beat them in the league recently. And, of course, you finished second to them finishing third. But that day 3 years ago, the 5-1 defeat, in all seriousness, is that something that this current set of players and yourself use as motivation now? Is that something you want to put right as well? Or is it not going to come into it? There's too much tension.
The mentality is different with the boys now. We've got some, like I said, we've got a lot of Monkton heart players. The mentality has changed. I think that's something we needed to change at Monkton was, all of our boys believe that they're the best. In their positions, they're the best in the league, and that's what you need. You need to be arrogant to be a good side. So I think the mentality has changed, but we're not stupid. I mean, I went out 2 years ago thinking that we were going to give a good account of ourselves. Maybe I got things wrong that day with the tactics. Still haunts me. There's still 5 or 6 players, maybe a bit more, will be playing on Saturday that was involved. So it's going to be in their mind, but I think it's more about putting things right, putting things right for all the Monkton people that are going to come over for the history of the club. I mean, like I said, we would love nothing more as a team, as a squad, to do that 19-year, to beat that 19-year glitch. We really would,
So last question before I hand you back to Gord there. In terms of the day itself, and this always splits opinion. I've never been one, and I remember Gary Dawes actually saying it to me as well. Never been one for making a big occasion of the day, the big breakfast, the photos, the social media, that sort of thing. Other clubs do. It's down to opinion. You talk about the Harris Allen Bowl and cricket as well. Other clubs like to make it a huge occasion. You've talked about the week and the build-up being normal for you. What about the morning itself? Are you just going to be very much meet as you usually would before a game, or are you adding something extra to it? Do you look to make it a bit special?
I'll be totally honest, Fraser. We are a close team, a close squad. Okay. So I mean, on a Saturday afternoon, we'll meet at 12 o'clock. We'll be in the clubhouse together. We'll be in Monkton clubhouse. We'll be there together. If you're not there, you'll get fined and this and things like that. They happen anyway. So nothing from us will change on Saturday morning. And I know it's hard to believe, but I've grown in experience, and a lot of the players out there have experienced as well. And
I think we might just have lost Twinno's line, but I think
we just need to be Monkton. We just need to be who we are.
Cool.
Yeah, I think might just be having one or two glitches there in just that answer, Twinno. Let's just see if that settles back down. I think it has. I think you're back with us again now, and we certainly got the gist of what you were saying to us there. My question I was going to ask in terms of your cup final preparations: do you wear a suit for the cup final, or is it going to be a tracksuit?
Yeah, we're going to come out like the Spice Boys,
Looking like, do you remember that Liverpool team when they got to the FA Cup final?
I'm actually a Man United fan, so we've
you have got sense, Twinno. You've got sense, mate.
But we'll be in our match day attire. We'll be in our match day Monkton tracksuits, and then it'll be shirt and tie after the game then.
Excellent stuff. And have you allowed yourself to think what it might be like back at the clubhouse with all those local players and all the connections, what it might be like if you were to lift that trophy?
But I haven't stopped thinking about it. I haven't stopped thinking about it since the Neyland game. I was on holiday for my son's 18th, and all I was doing was the players' profiles, talking about the game, and my wife was saying to me, Stu, have a day off, So we would love nothing more as a club to win that Senior Cup on Saturday, and we'll give everything to try and win that. And yes, that club will be bouncing if we win that cup on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, listen.
So the three of you are more than welcome to come along and give a couple of free drinks out.
We're going to be very neutral this evening, I'm afraid. And I am going to push Fraser and Gordon for some predictions, but we'll do that at the end of the show, I think. So maybe just keep watching Twitter and you'll see what they really think when we've done both sides. But listen, from us all at Pure West, good luck. You've had a great season already. Finishing second, it's going to be a great occasion on Saturday, and I hope you manage to enjoy it and take it all in as well. Thank you for talking to us on Pure West, and good luck at Monkton on Saturday.
Cheers, guys.
We are going to get into the good side of things as well in just a few moments. Give us your thoughts too. You can leave us a message with your score predictions ahead of the Senior Cup final coming up at the Oggy Bridge Meadow this weekend. We'll do that in part 2 on Pure West Sport next.
Eaton-Evans and Morris